I think from our perspective, the key issues that we think set us apart from other international financial centers are our early adoption of global standards. We are robust, we are inclusive and transparent. We were talking about transparency standards that other jurisdictions are catching up on now, 3 or 4 years ago. So we have the expertise, so we have robust regulation, early adopters of global standards. We have a pool of professional services on the island that are excellent at what they do, have decades of experience. So they provide the support network that is needed not only for structures that may be Jersey-centric, but we're talking about global structures and increasingly using Middle East assets and investments, African assets and investments, Far East, the Americas. We've just opened an office in New York a couple of weeks ago. So I think these are the key sort of messages that we have from our side.
So Jersey Finance is a relatively small organization compared to many others serving IFCs of the size that Jersey has, but that makes it a very nimble, flexible and dynamic organization. And Jersey, being present around the world, relies heavily also on the support of our headquarters, and it has a wonderful team made up of very committed individuals who are really heart and soul into the work that they do, and who understand the island because they have lived there, have grown up on the island, and understand the offer that this international financial center has. And so what we like to pride ourselves with is the fact that in the age of the 21st century, in the age of technology, we are just as fast as any international financial center should be. Email, phone calls, being readily available to service our clients and understanding what their needs are sits at the key of what we do. And then also, of course, the teamwork that is required with that. And we're absolutely proud and happy to be part of such a team.
Interesting question. I think one of the biggest issues that we found is because of the high level of jurisdiction that we are. And when I say this, I mean in terms of what we expect from our clients, the unique balance that we have between protecting the confidentiality of the individuals and organizations that use our island versus the transparency that is demanded globally, has put us in a very unique position, and over time a lot more people have relied on us. So if you think about it, the pool of investors that are now coming through our jurisdiction is global. And one of the key challenges that we had was we had to expand, and we had to expand very, very quickly. And then this is why we now have a global footprint. So we have an office in Hong Kong, an office in London, an office in Dubai, the IFC, and the new office that we opened in New York, with a head office, a central base being in Jersey. And WealthBriefing's recognition of our international center is testament to the hard work that our colleagues and ourselves have put in to try and make sure we're available on a global basis, but we treat and work with our investors from a local perspective.
And if I may add to that also, the challenges come from the markets. The markets nowadays, even here in the GCC and the Middle East, are much more mature. They require a different level of complexity when it comes to structuring assets, when it comes to international investment ambitions of the high net worth individuals, the family businesses that we serve. And hence, as an organization, we have to be adaptive, flexible, and understand what these evolving needs are, and then make the right recommendations for the member firms that could then service those needs. And so we have to evolve as fast as the needs of the clients. Well, keep doing the good work that we have already done. I think the strategy has been working. It has proven successful. It has proven very good because we have managed to make introductions for our member firms that have taken on the step of advising clients increasingly in the Middle East, in Africa, Far East, now in the States as well. So having that global footprint, making sure that we consolidate, that we understand our clients' needs.
The other point that we ought to do is obviously there's a lot of interconnectivity between the jurisdictions from a continental basis through to country basis through to financial centers. So we, for example, are based in the DIFC, which is quite unique. As an international finance center, they see how we complement the services that are provided here and the pool of our members that are actually based in the UAE, complementing overall what we're both trying to achieve as centers. Increasingly, we're seeing the connections between Africa and the Middle East being driven through the Middle East, Dubai specifically. We want to build our capacity for that. We want to make sure we have the correct expertise on the ground here in Dubai. And then obviously we have other connections that are happening between the Far East, places like Malaysia, doing business with Saudi Arabia, for example. We're well connected to pick up and benefit from those connections. And our US office picks up the funds work. There's a lot of funds work that institutional investors are coming through to invest in emerging markets, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in Far East. So we feel we're best placed to sort of capitalize on that, and these are the sort of challenges that we face in the future. I think for me, increasingly, impact investment, whether it's a fund or whether it's an institution, linked to the development goals. These are quite significant. They have a social element to them, and increasingly these funds are now being set up on a commercial basis, which means they're encouraging businesses and families to be philanthropic, but at the same time earn a return on their investment. So I think that's, the institutions like that inspire you because, they put a social dimension to the work that we do, so that when people see the pure finance work that we do, there's an element that we serve in the global purpose of the social development goals that have been set up by all nations. So I think that's quite an inspirational thing for all of us.
And then in addition to that, I think the World Economic Forum that organizes the Young Leaders programs as well, because it talks directly to the next generation. And nowadays, more than ever, we have to focus on the needs of the young generation, on their ambitions, and connecting with leading organizations such as those, I think, will help us understand better what the requirements of the markets will be in the near future. Thank you.